myself on mute.
Thank you very, very much. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so, so much to know me. And wow, what a beautiful group of women. I'm definitely always very touched to be here, very touched to be part of this group. I am a little bit on a time limit today because I'm teaching another class very soon. So God willing, whatever Hashem enables the words to flow out and the heart to be stirred, Be'ezrat Hashem, B'Shem Hashem Naseh v'Natzliach v'Hashem Aleinu B'Rachamav Yarviach. And we should all invoke, break down a little bit of that wall that we all have. That's what we're going to be talking about today. It's interesting. So again, I want to just thank everybody and thank you all for being here. When somebody asks me, well, what do you want to talk about? I admit I'm selfish. I talk about the things that I feel that I, struggle with in my own private life. And so when Nomi asked me, well, what do you want to name the topic? I said, this pain. It's just, what do we do with all this pain? And there is a lot of pain in Am Yisrael. Personally, we're all going through something. I think we've been going through the some things for a long time. And of course, collectively as a world, as a nation, we're certainly, I don't think anybody can unfortunately say that they're just okay with the situation that we see is progressing. Scientifically, we need to know that when we talk about the idea of pain, science refers pain as a state of mind. What does it mean, a state of mind? So science, again, will come and explain that the state of mind means that we are feeling, it comes from a core place of feeling rejection. That's where pain comes from rejection. Now, when it's in the body, when it's a physical manifestation of pain, it's translated into the actual body. It means that there are literally cells in the body, organs in the body that are not communicating with one another. There's a level of rejection, of separation, of tearing away from a sense of wholesomeness. That's pain. Pain means I don't feel at that moment of the pain. There's a loss in self connection. There's a self disconnect. There's a sense of feeling broken. Alone goes along with that. Lost, confused. I want to make reference to two books in today's talk. One is Viktor Frankl's very famous book, Man's Search for Meaning. I haven't read the full book, but I've skimmed through it. It's a fascinating book. And in the book, he defines pain, suffering, and he is a survivor of the camps. So he's talking from within, yes? He talks about the idea that pain, suffering, really is a form of emptiness. He calls it an existential frustration. That's actually how he defines it. He says when a person feels like there's a loss of meaning to life, they're not connected to their purpose. We're all religious Jews here. They're our divine soul's purpose. However, we can talk about it on a level of the secular, not yet observant, world. We could say that it means that those people also don't find meaning into their 9-to-5 job. They don't find meaning into the purpose of their challenges that they meet. But Torah teaches us that everything has purpose. So now, does that mean that if I'm connected to purpose, I won't have any pain? No. And here I think is a very important lesson that I think we all, I'm talking to myself here, right? And you all can all, I always say, I talk to myself and whoever wants to join in can listen to what I have to say. But the key here is to recognize that just because you're in pain, it means, yes, there is a disconnect, as we just defined. There is a sense of brokenness and tearing apart from one's true self. However, you could still be battling, and this is so important that we integrate this into our consciousness. You could still be on the Emuna battlefield, gun in hand, all the ammunition on your back, ready to go to war, feel the pain, but yet still be in your Emuna state of mind and still stand proudly with your Emuna Kepelach actually on your head. Because at the end of the day, we need to understand that no matter what we do, no matter how we try to go through life 120 years, there's always a level of disconnect. It's the DNA and the foundation of life. The foundation of life is disconnect because we as neshamas are automatically disconnected from the source of life. The word olam, world, is defining the idea of hiddenness. Hiddenness means disconnect. What that comes to teach us is that no matter what we do, pain, I hate to say it, is inevitable. Now, what degree? Where does it play in its part of meaning? How does it serve as a catalyst for growth? That is already in the realm of free will and bchira chofshit on every single one of us. What do I do with this state of mind of disconnect? So for that, I want to refer to the beautiful word, which I think is really, I want to call the healing balm, the healing tonic of our generation, of anybody who's in pain. What do? Let's talk solution. What's the solution? Bitachon. I'm going beyond Emuna now. Emuna is more of an intellectual state of mind, where I know in my mind that Hashem, in my pain, in this disconnect, even though I'm not really disconnected, because essentially if I knew that I wasn't disconnected, I wouldn't be in any pain. But because you put me in a state of mind, you put me in an existence where I'm tripped, I'm fooled to believe that I'm not connected to you, that you're not really here with me. My whole battle on the Emuna ground is to fight for believing and trusting and connecting, even though it feels like I'm disconnected, right? So in Emuna is that state of mind in my mind. It's knowing, I know it, but as we know, try to get that into that deep heart of ours. That's kind of like the story of our lifetime. Bitachon is not just knowing. Bitachon impacts my emotions. When my emotions are more at ease, when I feel that in my emotional state right now, I can handle the pain. I'm still in pain. It still bothers me, Hashem, that you're not with me, or that I don't understand, and that there are still question marks, and that people appear to be also in pain, of course, and suffering, and things don't make sense to me in my mind. And I'm always trying to bring peace in my mind, the conflicted mind between my Emuna and the modern sort of way of thinking that how can I have Emuna that everything is good when I'm seeing pain? Because again, the reason why I'm seeing it and interpreting it as pain and it's being painful to me is because I'm not connecting Hashem to it. The more I connect Hashem to it, the less pain I will feel. But ultimately, as we said before, we can never fully meld and weld the two because this world is embedded baseline DNA in a level of hiddenness. So when we understand that there's only so much we could do, now we have to just look to minimize the harm. So I want to go now into the word bitachon, which is trust, because that's more on a level of me really being able to live with my Emuna. The way I like to describe bitachon as opposed to Emuna is that trust means that I'm actually acting upon that Emuna. And for more information about this, I will, with my heart, recommend the books that I had the honor and Hashem has humbled me to write, the Turnaround series. There's 1 and 2, and the third one, Be'ezrat Hashem, is in the works, where I do speak about this whole idea of Emuna and bitachon. But let's look at the word bitachon. Let's look at the word bet, tet, chet, vav, nun. That's how you spell bitachon. Watch this. Phenomenal. This is Hashem Yitbarach. This is our loving Abale, who really, he's hidden, but he's not hidden. He really is always just screaming out to us. You have to adopt a state of mind and living to be a truth seeker. Every morning you have to say to yourself, am I a truth seeker? Ask yourself, am I seeking the truth? What that means is, am I willing to go to work to uncover and unravel the hiddenness that I have been thrust into this mitzias, to this reality. Am I willing to dig down deep and uncover the hiddenness and find Hashem? That's called being a truth seeker. And every day I think we need to commit ourselves to saying, today I'm a truth seeker. Even just to randomly find, have yourself say, I'm a truth seeker. I'm going to find the truth here. The truth meaning emet is one of Hashem's name, right? So let's look at the bitachon. You have the letter bet, tet, and chet. Let's just focus on the root of the word bitachon, which is trust, right? Bet stands for, I teach a numerology program, and this is where we talk about the energies of each of the letters, but just giving you a rundown. Bet defines the word bait, right? That's how you write the word bet. Bet, if you want to write out the word bet, bet, you write it out as bet yud taf, bait. So the whole idea and the energy of bet defines the idea of being in a house. Then you have the letter tet. If you look at the Ktav Oshrit, the way that the Torah writes, there's many ways to write these letters, but if you go into the Torah and you see the way that the letter tet is written in the Torah, that's called Ktav Oshrit, then you'll see that the letter tet, the form of it looks like a womb. And in fact, the numerical value of tet is 9 months of pregnancy. So the energies of the letter tet defines the idea of a womb. We know that, and you'll see soon that you're probably already piecing it together. You see the commonality here. And then if you look at the letter chet defines the idea of a chuppah. In fact, if you look at the letter chet in the Sefer Torah, you will notice that the letter chet is comprised of two letters, a vav and a zayin. Chet is actually comprised of two letters, vav and zayin. Together, what is their numerical value of vav and zayin? 6 and 7 is 13, equals 1. The whole idea of chet, which is 8, which is above nature. We know 8 days of Hanukkah, 8 days Shminei Atzeret, 888, right? We know it's above the cycle of the 7, everything in this world is 7, right? The whole idea of 8 means above and beyond. It means oneness, but look at the shape of the letter chet. And I'm also going to say one last thing. 6 is the male, 7 is the female. If you look at the letter chet, you'll see that there's the two energies. It's the shlemut of kutchabrichu. It's the completion, it's the wholesomeness, that's the one. It's the male and the female together that makes one. It's very Kabbalistic, I won't get into it, but the idea of the chet is that you have the male and female, and together they're under the chet chuppah. If you look at the letter chet, it represents, it symbolizes the idea of a chuppah. What happens under a chuppah? There's, of course, all this love, there's this togetherness, there's a building of a home. So already at the root word of bitachon, you have betach. Betach, you have the home, which is the bet. You have the womb, which is the tet. And you have the chet, which is the oneness, the ultimate culmination of male and female. So when we want to dive into the energies of bitachon, what we're really looking for is this embrace, this home, this come and hug me Hashem, this protective shield, this safety, the security, all the things that you and I have been seeking out and that causes pain when we feel that we don't have. The continuation of bitachon is the vav and the nun. Okay, we could just stop with the betach because there's plenty of information right here, but let's just move forward and continue this thought. And then we could see that if we could take all of that healing, protective, loving energy, and we can then bring it down. That's the vav, bringing it down. That's what Hashem wants us. He wants us to live in this chuppah, in this bayit, in this womb. He wants us to feel embraced and loved. So that affects our emotions. Somebody who's living in the baby who's living in the womb is not worrying about anything. When you're at home, technically home is called a safe haven. When you're under the chuppah, boy, you're only thinking about good thoughts, right? So this is the energy Hashem wants us to graduate, to feel in our hearts. And then he wants us to bring this down. He's bringing this down to us. That's the vav. The vav is a hook. It brings down, it's a connector. It connects heaven and earth. If we live in this state of mind, we feel the ultimate connection all the time with Hashem, and that ultimately gives birth to Shar Hanun. What is Shar Hanun? The gate of Nun, the gate of 50. 50 represents the idea of ultimate freedom. It means that I am freed from all the shackles, the pain, the tiredness, the worries, the anguish, all the negativity. So when we say that we want to strive, what is the antidote? What is the medicine? What is the healing balm for pain? Is the connect, making that connection through bitachon. Really feeling, and I'm going to invite you to do visuals on this. I'm hoping we're going to have time to do a meditation today. If not, I'm inviting everyone to join Or Talks, because the meditation for today, if I don't get a chance to do it now with you all, will be on Thursday's Or Talk, Be'ezrat Hashem. But let's see if we can still get through, meditation. But in general, I'd like for you to just close your eyes and just on a general basis, maybe I'll do this actually with next week's Or Talk, is just envision the bet, see it as a bite, envision the tet, see it as a womb. And when you find yourself in anguish and in despair, do the visuals. We're not just linear thinking people. Hashem gave us koach hadimyon, koach hamidame. He gave us the power of imagination so that we could use it and utilize it in order to break the shackles of the logical mind and teva and nature and go beyond and seek Hashem from obviously, other realms. I want to, one of the central points that I wanted to work on in terms of the meditation is actually, it came to me only later that this is actually a verse from Nishmat Kol Chai, right? So this is something that Nomi read so beautifully right now. And that was in one of the verses towards more the end, we read the verse in Nishmat Kol Chai, V'chol ayin lecha tetzapeh. Every eye shall look towards you. And that's actually the focus point of the meditation is the affirmation, the repetition of this verse over and over and over again, right? What does it mean? And every eye shall look towards you. And this is what we're saying, thank you to Hashem, that we have the ability. When we say Nishmat Kol Chai, we're saying, Hashem, we have this ability. I'm thanking you in advance. What am I thanking you for? Thank you for giving me the opportunity to look beyond, to look towards you. But I don't know how you are, where you are. I don't know how you look, Hashem. But I have the ability, Kol ayin lecha tetzapeh. I am anticipating. The word letzapot means I am anticipating. I'm yearning. I'm salivating. When you think about a good piece of cake, you salivate even before that cake is in front of you. That is how we should be approaching. Again, this is our medicine for our soul. There's no other way. I wish I could tell you, dear people, dear sisters, that there's another way to be able to calm that soul. I haven't found anything. There's nothing more that we could do other than to work on our bitachon, to work on our eyesight, to deepen our eyesight. What does it mean? The Radak explains. What does it mean, litzapot? He writes that the nature of a person that anticipates, yearns, and quenches anything, right, is that they're constantly on edge. Okay, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? I think we've spoken about this here, if not in another setting, when we were talking about what does it mean to anticipate the coming of Mashiach. That's what it means when there's suddenly like a out of nowhere noise. You're like, is that the shofar? Let's get ready. I hate to say it, lahavdil, but 2 weeks ago when there were sirens going off all of Israel here, that's how we were living. And I believe we were in training for hearing the ultimate sound that we all want to hear, and that's the sound of the shofar. I believe that hearing of maybe there's going to be a siren, or was that a boom in Ashkelon, which, by the way, I heard all of them because I'm right. I could see the panoramic view. I see the Iron Dome. I was able to see all the blast-offs, unfortunately, in front of my eyes, even if it wasn't here in Bet Shemesh. But the idea is, I have to ask myself, am I anticipating to hear the sound of the shofar as much as I was scared to hear the sound of the siren? Because I believe that no matter where we are in the universe, and it doesn't matter if you didn't hear the sirens because you're not living here in Israel, But I believe that that was one of our deep, profound lessons that we were meant to learn and integrate from this whole scenario of what was going on with the war. So the idea is, if I could live in the mindset, as the Radak says, where I'm sitting on needles and I'm saying, okay, when is Hashem gonna come? When is my eye gonna be able to see, so to speak? And yes, there is going to be that unveiling of our eyesight when Mashiach comes. The ultimate healing balm is that I'm going to be able to now see with my own eyes the source of life in everything, from my cup of water to my gemstones, to my desk, to my phone, to my children, to my husband, to my issues. I'm going to be able to see Hashem radiating his love and his glory from everything that I'm going through. I want to make one last point, and let's see if this can take us into the meditation. I want to talk about the idea of Yeush, despair, something that Rabbi Nachman has a whole Torah, and Yeush be'olam klal. There is absolutely, positively no Yeush. There's no despair. Why? Yeush feels like it's almost a natural state that we all, to some degree or another, fall into when we're in pain. Now, I will say to you that there is a plus. I know this sounds odd, but I deal with, emotional healing. That's what all the programs, the Emuna energy programs, are about. By the way, I'm inviting everyone to find out about the healing retreats planned in New York and in LA for this coming summer. Please Hashem, Geula by then, and that's the ultimate healing. But if for some reason Hashem decides that it's still not the time, I'm going to invite everyone to find out. I'm going to be running beautiful healing retreats in New York, 3 days, 3 nights over Shabbat, both in New York and in LA. But the whole idea of these retreats, the Emuna energy, daily dose of Emuna, everything that at least I feel that Hashem has enabled me to try to dedicate my time to do, is to come to a place of acknowledging our pain. I feel like we live in a society where we're looking to avoid our true self. We run away from feeling. We live in a robotic mode of living. We don't express ourselves. I hate to say it, we almost hide behind, hi, how are you doing? Baruch Hashem. And we kind of hide behind the Baruch Hashem. Now, again, I'm not belittling. I do it too. There's not a time and a place. You can't just, in the middle of Walmart or in the middle of, Shefa Shuk, just decide to just open up your heart in front of the friend who really is just being nice and saying to you, how are you doing? She's not really interested in hearing your whole life story. However, there is a time and place to be able to know that we should not fall into a state of numbness. One of the conditions, I want to say, for Geula is that we will have our hearts transformed from a heart of stone to a heart of flesh. We must be feeling human beings. We cannot be robots. We can't live in avoidance and detached. We seem to tuck things under the carpet. And I remember I heard a long time ago from some Rav at one point in a shiur, and he said, we're so busy tucking everything under the carpet that we end up falling over that mound that we've been tucking under the carpet. We fall over our own, storing away of emotions that we just are avoiding and disassociating from. So again, there has to be a time and place. Obviously, we have our hitbodedut, we have our tefillah times, we have our mentor. I'm encouraging everyone to have a mentor, a Rav, a Mashpia, a Rebbitzin, a spiritual coach. I don't care what you call, but we all need it. You can't just assume that you could process your own emotions on your own. There's too much detachment. There's too much pain. So what does Yeush mean? So the one reference that we learn about Yeush and despair, which is what happens automatically when we disassociate from pain, we automatically fall into Yeush. What is Yeush? The Gemara brings down the association and the recollection of what Yeush is from associating it with Hashavat Avedah. When a person loses something and they mityaesh, they stop looking for that Avedah, that lost object. That's when the Gemara brings down, if he's mityaesh, if he's in despair and he loses interest, he loses hope, he stops searching for his lost item, it belongs, so to speak. It's like it loses its ownership from that original owner. What does that tell us in our reference here? What it defines for us is that the minute I stop looking for Hashem, the minute I stop hoping to see the good, the minute I stop trusting that there is good in my pain, I don't stop hoping, yearning, wishing, begging, pleading, everything I possibly can, like you all are doing every single day by getting together. I don't stop my search, my truth seeker, the truth seeker in me. I don't stop looking for the good, and I beg Hashem to reveal it. And again, it's a matter of just not giving up. The minute I give up, that's when I know I'm in Yeush. And that's why Rabbi Nachman says, don't give up. Don't fall into despair. Don't stop looking. Teva will say to you, oh, there's no hope for that. Don't even bother. What are you looking for? For what? You're not going to find it. That's Teva. That's Tovea. That makes you drown. It makes you drown. That we're not in Teva. We are above Teva. We are above nature. So for us, we have to do everything we possibly can to muster in that energy to keep searching and looking. So let me ask Nomi, should I have a couple more points. I can either continue to learn and teach, or should I go into meditation or save the meditation for Or Talk?
Totally up to you, Orit. I leave it totally up to you.
Okay, so maybe we could take a little vote. Anybody want to write in the chat and tell me what because if I do the meditation, it's going to be quick. I'm going to have to rush through it because I have 10 minutes before I teach. Okay, we've got 3 meditation. Learn more. Oh, great. Now we're getting meditation. Okay, let's see. Anybody else? Let's see. I wish we had like a survey we could just put in more learning. Oh boy, the more I get. Okay, and now I'm really confused. If I wasn't confused before, keep teaching. Okay, you know what? I am gonna.
Can you do a learning meditation?
I don't think I could do that. You know what? It's an opportunity to ask you all to join Or Talk. I think you're going to enjoy it anyway. Every week I put everybody through a meditation every Thursday. That's become my new adaptation. So why don't we just continue to learn? I agree. Let's just continue to learn for the next 7 or so minutes. Because I do have a little bit more that I think is very important to teach. And then you'll get the full meditation in Or Talk. It's a very quiet WhatsApp group. And it's just, I put out podcasts there that, it's just very quiet. It's just, just me talking. It's only admins posting. So I do encourage you all, to join if you'd like. Okay. So I want to refer to the idea of, what we're thirsting. What are we looking for? And I want to refer to the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh. I want to refer to the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh that he has a commentary on the part of Tehillim, the verse in Tehillim. It's actually Kuf Zayin Pasuk Hey, chapter 107, verse 5. And it says, Re'evim gam tzme'im nafsham bahem tit'ataf. Hungry as well as thirsty, their soul enwraps itself in them. And the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh teaches, what is this that we are hungry and thirsty for, right? Where are we hungry and thirsty for? And the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh teaches, he actually teaches this Torah in regards to Tu B'Shvat. And he, very quickly, he says, the reason why every single one of us, I know what you're all going to be thinking. I'm already guessing it before I said even what I want to say. Why is it the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh says that there are some people who are allergic to certain foods, like certain foods, can't stand certain foods, and yes, we all, us women, love chocolate. Most of us at least do. Okay, we might have a discrepancy. You like black, I like white. You like milk, I like dark. You like 70%, I like 100%, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, most of us, we must have some sort of tikkun that we have with chocolate. because most women that I meet, at least, the ones that I think I know, we all kind of like chocolate. However, the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh teaches that if you like a certain food item, it means because there's a nitzotz eloki, there's a holy spark, there's a spark of holiness that belongs to you. And this is your hashivat avedah. This is your quest to return this lost item. What is this lost item in this food? It's a part of your nefesh. You owe it to yourself to eat this food in a holy manner so that you can return yourself to wholesomeness. After all, there's a part of you that's missing in this beautiful egg, cheese omelet. I don't know, whatever it is that you're eating. There's something in that tomato. There's something in that particular peach. There's something in that piece of watermelon. There's something in that chocolate souffle. There is something just for you, and it's through your bracha and through your interaction and through your gratitude that you are redeeming parts of yourself. So, but he writes that even further than that, what we really are looking for in that chocolate souffle, notice how many times I mentioned it, whoever wants to know what I really like, what am I really looking for in that is the nitzotz eloki, that part of my nefesh. Wait a minute, the nefesh is chelek eloka mimal. What am I really looking for when I'm eating? I'm looking for godliness. That is what I really want to enwrap. My soul is enwrapped in this food item. And what I really want is I want that food. So that's yes. Somebody asked here, is that with every situation in life? Yes. Why do you like drawing? Why do you like to sing? Why do you like to run? Why do you like Pilates versus yoga? It's because you have something about you. You need to redeem something about you. Yes. Could it be in sweat? Could it be in strength? Could it be in muscle, toning? Could it be in the people you meet when you interact in that activity? Absolutely, them and all the rest. So we have to understand there are certain reasons why we have attractions towards certain things. Now, when let's go back to the original talk here. This is all about exiting pain. How did we define pain? A state of mind of disconnect. So if I am in the process where I'm hungry and I'm thirsting, all of these holy sparks of mine that I'm trying to redeem back to myself, that means the more I interact with this, the more my state of mind tells me, wait a minute, the reason why I really want that hot cocoa with marshmallows is because I'm looking for the pleasure that Hashem wants to give me through this hot cocoa, right? And the more I see Hashem, I interact with Hashem on this level, the less pain I can be finding myself in, okay? I want to bring down one last point, and with that, I'll end. There's another book I want to make reference to, and that's Rabbi Yitzchak Kerzner, alav shalom. He has a book called Making Sense of Suffering. And he writes in there that there are 3 points we all have to remember whenever we're in a state of pain. Now, before I say this, I want to bring a reference to Baba Batra 16a, where there's a discussion about Eov. And you can't talk about pain without mentioning Eov because it's just our life lesson. And they bring down in the Gemara there, and they come to the conclusion there that Eov, believe it or not, I don't know if any of you know this or if you studied this, but Eov was not held responsible. That was the conclusion in Baba Batra, that Eov was not held responsible for the way that he spoke during his time of anguish. Because the conclusion in the Gemara is that when a person is in a place of anguish, tzal, and yisurim, of sorrow and horrible pain and anguish, they will say things, they will vouch things, they will swear things, they will curse things, they'll throw things, they'll do so many things. And the Torah and Hashem recognizes this, that when you are in a place of pain, you may feel uncontrolled. Now this is, don't say, oh, well, Orit Esther said, well, now I can throw the dishes across the floor because, I have no control. I'm in pain. That's not a free ticket. This is already, it's happened. Already I'm in that state. It's like, I always wondered, how is it that, Hashem should not test any of us. You're not allowed to cry on Shabbat. But, I remember being told a bit of very tragic news just before Shabbat comes in. Hashem understands. He is He's not insensitive to our pain. He's not the worst Yisurim of all. What did we say? What is the worst pain? Feeling abandoned, rejected, disconnected from my sense of wholesomeness. So every time I think that Hashem is not with me in my pain, what does it do to my pain? Quadruples it. Quadruples it. So we need to know Hashem is just because, yes. Is he concealed? Yes. Is he hidden? Yes. Do I have to work hard to find him? Yes. But is he with me? Yes. And that's what I have to keep saying to myself over and over again. I'm going to end off at the 3 points. Otherwise, my whole other group of students will be disappointed that I'm not starting on time. The 3 points to remember, taken from this book, amazing book, Rav Yitzchak Kerzner, Making Sense of Suffering. And he writes, when you are in a state of pain, number 1, remember, ask questions to Hashem and not against Hashem. Your purpose for asking questions, and yes, are you allowed to ask? Yes. But your purpose is to want to understand, not to complain, not to kvetch. Yes, can you say I'm frustrated, I'm in pain, I feel alone? Absolutely. The Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh is Toat HaNefesh, talks right to the soul. This is the way we do our Hitbodedut. We do not tuck things under the carpet. Hashem, I'm upset. I'm angry. I don't want to be angry, but I am angry. I don't want to be angry at you, but I guess I am angry at you. And I hate feeling like I'm angry at you. I ask questions because I want to redeem my pain. And I make that clear to myself. So yes, we have a duty to ask questions, but not against Hashem. We're asking to Hashem in order to better understand what are my duties in my relationship with you, Hashem. I have an obligation to maintain love in my relationship with you, Hashem. What are those duties? I want to do them right. I want to fulfill them. Number 2, don't forget to share your pain with Hashem, which is what I just said. Don't be embarrassed to talk about your pain. It forms trust. When you have pain with somebody in a relationship, your husband, your child, your friend, you need to talk about it. You need to share your pain. If, again, use imagery. If you need to, ask yourself, what does that pain look like to me? And then go with that imagery and say, look, Hashem, that pain looks like a big, big mountain to me. That's what I'm carrying around on my back. No wonder I'm tired, right? Find out also what that pain looks like. Again, these are things we're going to be working at in our healing retreats and Emuna energy programs that I teach and so on. Number 3, the bottom line is, okay, we have to remember to keep reminding ourselves when we're in pain. Yisurim come from love. I know. Even when I say it, I'm like, it's even breathing that. It goes so against the logical mind. But yes, Yisurim from the word lahasil, it shaves off. It shaves off some sort of crumb, some sort of barrier, some sort of mishap, some sort of wrong deed, this lifetime, past lifetime, family tree, anywhere in my consciousness. Things I'm aware of and that I'm not aware of. It's meant to shave off a layer that is the disconnect layer between me and Hashem. The Yisurim wakes me, jolts me, and causes me to run towards Hashem. And I need to always remember that. So I'm sorry I'm speaking fast. I wanted to just really push in all the material. I know I have a lot more to say, but we'll end with that for now. I want to thank you all. It's healing for me to talk. I pray that it brings some balm to the pain, the awesome pain. But let's remember this. We were told that this is going to be a painful time before Mashiach comes. We shouldn't be surprised. The one thing we have to keep our minds and our eyes on, deep in your eyes, kol ayin lecha tetzapeh. Remember, be'ezrat Hashem, that Hashem is here. He is with us. If anybody has questions and want to connect, you can, if you all want to write down Emuna Heal Energy at gmail.com, or you can maybe, Naomi, I don't mind if you share my personal WhatsApp. I'm also okay with that. If not, Emuna Heal Energy at gmail.com. That's where you can also find out information about the healing retreats, Be'ezrat Hashem. And I love you all. What can I tell you?
Will you maybe, because people are texting me, maybe we can have maybe you can come back and we can have like an open discussion again about this.
Yes.
And people can ask the questions. I'll reach out to you later. We'll make a
Fine.
date. You can come back. People can ask questions regarding this shiur that you just gave us,
Yeah.
and getting more clarity for themselves.
Agree.
And I will share all your information. Send to me your healing retreat, all your WhatsApps, and I will share it with the group Meretz Hashem so that everybody can connect with you and
Bezrat
continue to
Hashem.
learn with you and receive all your beautiful Torah.
Bezrat Hashem. Bezrat Hashem. I let me just end off by saying this. Whoever knows me knows me. Whoever doesn't, I'm just going to tell you. I'm speaking from a place of very deep understanding of pain. I have MS, multiple sclerosis, for 15 years. I know what pain is like. But I just want you to know there are ways. There are ways to overcome physical, emotional, spiritual pain. You just have to keep linking back. And it's something that requires a tremendous amount of yigiyah. I don't want anyone to think it just comes. It doesn't. We have to practice. DailyDoseOfEmuna.com was born because of that. Because you need a daily dose, like a medicine pill. You need I need it. Okay, so it's really, really important. But yes, let's Bezrat Hashem come together again. And Hashem should bring the geula so that the pain and the disconnect will be gone, and that ultimately we will be, weaved and welded back into the oneness on all the conscious levels that we can in the most revealed, loving way.
Amen, amen.
Thank you. All right,
Amen. Before I thank Orit, I just want to say, please stay on. We're going to do our Shmiras Halashon right now, so don't run away.
I'm not going to run away. I'm just going to mute and I'm going to close myself off the camera, but I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to listen.
Thank you so much. This was so
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you so much.